Okay.
On board.
You have been.
So this is being recorded.
It's now being recorded, yeah.
And Mark Haven filling in as presiding officer here for the Lewiston Disability Advisory Commission. Secretary is noting who's here. And we're awaiting our vice chair, our chairman or president?
Chair.
Chair.
Okay.
Our chair,
Or vice
Constance Vance, is unable to join us today. You want us to amend the agenda? Is that what you said?
The minutes.
Has anybody, looked at the minutes of the G meeting? So you don't want to vote on them today?
So what I told Mark was you can either amend the agenda to include approval of June minutes, or we can wait till next month's meeting and add June and August.
I think that's probably the best.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Then we will do that. We made note of the fact that the July meeting was canceled.
July meeting.
Citizens' comments, no citizens, our city councilor won't say anything. No.
I'm good.
Why is discussions items on here? Because you always tell us we can't discuss anything that's not pre-approved on the agenda.
Well, just trying to follow the open meeting.
Okay. We'll have commissioner comments later on. So if they're, and making the decision to move the review and approval of the minutes of June 11th to the September meeting. So if there's nothing else, we move into the active agenda.
Yep.
So, all right, under our active agenda, we have a presentation from Chase Kloppenbach from the it's Union Gospel Mission, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let the record show the agenda is incorrect. It says United Gospel
Oh,
Mission.
God. Oh, Mark always finds.
That's okay.
And he's the volunteer and outreach coordinator for UGM out of Spokane, right?
Lewiston,
Oh, you are based here.
based here, born here.
I didn't. Okay, I
Whole
didn't.
gamut.
I didn't realize.
Right here from here.
Yeah.
Okay, and you are here to speak about your operation. Also, our interest in it is because we are interested in all things pertaining to people with disabilities or perceived disabilities, and that would include some of your clientele, I would presume. So take it away.
Yeah, first of all, thank you for reaching out and having me out here. I love just honestly raising awareness that there's this resource in town that can be used. So yeah, I'll talk a little bit about it. I usually give a presentation at our volunteer overview, and it's a hour presentation, and it's just a lot of history, but very quick version. 1951 is when UGM started in the Spokane area. It started originally with a men's shelter. 20 years later, migrated into a women's shelter. And UGM's kind of core philosophy has always been that of what we call a high barrier shelter. And that's something I really want to emphasize. What a high barrier shelter means is in order to seek services with us, you have to be drug free and alcohol free. When you enter into UGM, the first thing we do is we give you a breathalyzer. And then if you pass a breathalyzer, we do a urinalysis. So those are the first two things. If you pass both of those, then you can come and seek services with us. Our heart is if someone doesn't pass, because that's a lot of what we're battling here in the Valley is either narcotics, alcoholism. If someone doesn't pass one of those tests, our heart is never kicked them to the curb. It's always filled with grace, as is our mission. It's always filled with grace of, hey, when you're clean and sober, please come back to us. So that's the high barrier aspect. And this is our mission statement. Oh, this one just works.
Okay.
That's okay. You have the arrow keys, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Just arrow over. I only got like 5 slides, so.
Ours like
You can use your error, yes.
It might be because you're selected into the Zoom.
Well, I think we're sharing the screen is what we're doing. So it should, I just did it on there.
Technology.
Oh, was that
Me? Okay, hold on.
You want me to see if this works?
This one, okay. Yeah, but you can see if it works.
Okay.
There you go.
Look at that.
I think it just like went to sleep.
I love it. So this is our mission. So it's partnering with the Inland Northwest to reach the poor with the love and power of the gospel, so they might become God-dependent, contributing members of society. Mouthful, but this is why we do what we do, is because of this mission statement. And that was our heart bringing it here to the valley. That was part of the heart with the thrift store opening up, is we wanted to make sure that the valley was surrounding what we were trying to do, as we have seen more homeless people. I grew up here when I was high school, so I've seen an increase since I have been a kid. And so we're wanting to provide a service for them that they can have and seek shelter here. And one of the things I share is at Union Gospel Mission, we have a very high standard for how we do things. We want a bed to be available for someone who wants to get better. So there are very clear benchmarks that if someone is not choosing to make progress in their recovery, right, whatever it might be, those are beds that are opened up for people who actually are choosing to get better in their recovery. We offer AA meetings on site, NA meetings, Celebrate Recovery. Chaz Health Clinic comes down twice a week. We have other local partners in the valley that we're trying to partner with. So what happens is the shelter here in Lewiston is what we consider a rescue shelter. There are multiple different aspects to our shelters, but the first one is a rescue shelter. It's simply a first step out of homelessness. So 30 to 60 day stay. If we identify someone as they're experiencing homelessness, it is their very first step out of homelessness, is this rescue shelter is what we call it. In this Spokane Coeur d'Alene area, we have, so these are our rescue shelters. So those are the 30 to 60 day stay. If they are working towards the benchmarks that they should, we're not going to ask them to leave. Housing has been an issue here in the valley, as I'm sure you guys know, but we're not going to ask them to leave if they're waiting on a wait list for a house. They can stay with us while they're working towards housing. We've had some 100 people plus since we've been open in February find jobs, secure housing, gotten back out, kind of that mission statement, the contributing members of society, they've gotten back out. And so this is the rescue. We have a women's shelter in Spokane, a men's shelter in Spokane as well, and then this shelter here in the LC Valley. So the first portion of what we do is rescue. Now, the more specific program services that we offer are going to be what we call our recovery program. It's falling asleep on me.
I just pushed the top button. You know, hold that.
It's called recovery. So someone comes and stays with us for those 30 to 60 days. Then after that, they say, hey, I'm still having trouble with my addiction, my recovery process, whatever. We can send them up to what we call program. Program is in Spokane. Unfortunately, we don't have a program here in the valley yet. It is something we would love to work towards at some point. But program is what we call, it's an 18 to 24 month recovery addiction relapse tool is what it is. So 18 to 24 months of counseling, group therapies, group participation activities that really tries to get at the root of what they are experiencing and suffering from, and to hopefully rehabilitate them. So that's the second portion, is the recovery. And like I said, there's another shelter in Spokane. We have another shelter in Coeur d'Alene, and then the same one in Spokane also does both rescue and recovery. So that's the next step. If you identify someone, or if we identify someone as, hey, they've been with us for 30 plus days, they're still struggling with their addiction and they want to enter into program, we would secure them transportation to that area to be able to participate in that. We've seen huge success with our programs in the Spokane area. And then we have lastly what is called our restoration. So our thought was, we read a long time ago that there was this, not a little ago, there was a national statistic out there. And basically what it said is if we can keep someone clean and sober for up to 5 years, that there's an 83% chance that they'll be clean and sober the rest of their life. So we said to ourselves, hey, we have the 30 to 60 days, great. We have up to 2 years, great. But then what started to find out is after the 2 years, they would go back to the same friends, to the same family, to the same neighborhood, they would relapse, the cycle would go back. So we said, hey, how can we bridge the gap? How can we get them to that 5-year mark? And how we've done that is through our aftercare housing. So UGM owns individual homes. This is currently 3 duplexes that are right next to our women's shelter. These are 3 units of 4 rooms apiece. So 4 plexes that are right next to a Coeur d'Alene shelter. And then this is just down the road. This is a men's aftercare housing. So they go through, and I'm not trying to be redundant, but they go through the rescue, the 30 to 60 day stay. They go to recovery, and after recovery, they have the option to stay here. And something I always like to say is that it does not cost them anything to stay with us at Union Gospel Mission. There is no there's no fee associated with that. It's completely free for them, and that's because of our generous donors, our foundations. It's because people give back to what we're trying to do. So they're able to come stay with us free of charge. And as they're staying with us, there are some things that we ask of them, and some of them is that they participate in communal living. Just being in proximity with each other, we experience a lot of individuals who have never had to follow rules, who have never had to be up out of their beds at a certain time, who've never had to have a curfew, right? Who have never had to have a life skill or like chore, if you will, that they get to do, right? They've never had these. And so sometimes communal living can be a hard aspect for individuals, but those are some of the simple things that we ask if they're gonna be staying with us. If they choose to stay with us, they would participate in that communal living aspect. And then they would move through the phases if they want. Oftentimes, we get people who are just down on luck and they need a 30 to 60 day stay, and that's all it takes for them. And they're got a job, they got a house. There's a specific gal that comes like got a job, got a house, and that's all she needed. Like she's doing great. She's going to AA, participating in her active recovery. There are some people that need to walk through the steps. But it's really kind of up to them where they're at with the process. So these would kind of be the social services that are in the Spokane area, and then obviously we have the rescue social service that we offer here in the valley. In front of you, there are a couple brochures. So one is just our annual report that has some really fun, neat stats that you can look at. The other brochure is really just a big view of who we are and what we do. And so Mark, kind of like what you asked, we have enterprises is what we call them, and those are in the Spokane area, and that consists of our 3 thrift stores. We have a car lot, we have upholstery, and then we also have a museum warehouse. The idea behind all of those is that everything that is earned just goes back to the mission to allow us to open up more facilities for people to participate in. And that was the idea with the thrift store here in Lewiston. That was here at the time, was just to kind of help get back to the mission and find out if there was community interest. So, any questions? Anything that comes to mind? I know that's a very broad view, yes.
If I can word it, I'm thinking it, but are people able to access some of the services that are provided without first having to be in that rescue state?
Yeah, good question. Give me an example.
Like, let's say someone who is already, let's say they have housing,
Yeah.
but let's say that they're struggling with addiction and they're struggling with finding, resources that can help them become clean and sober. Would they be able to come and be linked to resources through you guys?
Yeah, that's a very good question. We are what's considered a closed campus, and that is because of the delicate dynamic that we have between the women and children, and they're on the top floor, that's what, women and children, and then we have the men on the bottom floor. So when people come to seek services, we wanna know who they are. Same with volunteers, so I oversee the volunteers, we just wanna know who they are. So if they checked in with us, yes, they could absolutely have that. Without checking in, they came to us, we would hook them up with one of the people that we have partnered with. We oftentimes partner with St. Vincent de Paul Social Services, Sojourners in Moscow. So we really would refer people out in that instance. Yeah, does that kind of make sense? Yes. So it's a yes and.
Yeah.
Yes and no, kind of.
Yes, and it depends.
Yes. So,
That was kind of my question was, you mentioned that you guys don't take anybody that is currently failing drug tests. So what then do you guys do? Do you find a resource that they can go to try to help get,
Yeah.
away from the drugs that they're struggling with, or?
It's a really good question. Yeah. And I think I would just say our heart is, I wish we could do it all. Like really, we wish we could do it all. But I think what we have found out, because that's kind of what you're talking about, is a little bit of like a low barrier model of housing.
Not necessarily
recurring.
taking them in, but finding a facility that maybe working just to find them a facility they can go to,
Totally. Yep.
versus like, on the street again.
No, you're right,
So,
yep.
like, what's that look like?
Salvation Army has vouchers that they have given out before in the past when we've contacted with them for motel vouchers.
Oh,
St.
okay.
Vincent de Paul has also done things like that. Oftentimes when they come in to visit us, if it's something like alcohol, it's a matter of hours.
Right.
It really is. Hey, can we get you a meal? Do you need a meal? If it's drugs, it might be a little bit longer than that. But normally that's where we refer them to, hey, here's Salvation Army's number. Do you need a bus token? Here's a bus token to get there. And then they have helped out with getting someone a lodging overnight or whatnot. We have local churches that we partner with too, who kind of help out with that. I know it's not a great answer. Like I wish that we had a area that we could, people could be referred to.
Well, yeah, 'cause I mean, how, that's really hard to decide to stop doing drugs on your own, right? And if you don't have like some kind of resource
Yeah.
to to help through
Yeah, kind of
that.
like an in-between.
Yeah, and I agree.
Right.
with you. Like I totally wish it was. And our philosophy behind having the drug-free, alcohol-free is for the safety of everyone.
Oh, no, I totally understand
Yeah.
that part. Yeah, I just wish, I guess there was another resource facility that
Yep.
you guys can partner with to be
And
like,
I know
hey,
that's something
like,
that Clarkson was opening up. I know that
Okay.
they were having, kind of over by the port area, they were opening or they're building something like that.
okay,
That people could go and be, and yes, that's why I think our community needs places where people can get all the help that they need regardless of what stage that they're at, not
Yeah.
just, hey, when you're great, come to us, and we have seen immense success with people when they get to that clean and sober place, that we have seen people have wanted to really commit to the programs, and that's why we try to have the AA on site, the NA, they meet with the case manager weekly, and so.
and how often do they get drug tested while they're in your facility?
Yeah,
Make sure
good
that
question.
it's
So
okay.
one time initially, and then it's under reasonable suspicion, or they have a 30-day. So what we've actually found out that's quite interesting is more often than not, it's the other residents that can tell that someone is under the influence.
Right,
So
that makes sense.
they'll usually notify us, hey, something's not right with that person. And then that's when we have a conversation with them, but it's that once when they come in, and then the 30 days after that, or if there's a real reasonable suspicion.
And then be the same situation, you then get a hold of, would you say Salvation Army or something, to try to get
Salvation
them,
Army.
outside of the facility, get them help.
Yes, unless they have, if there's, like if they brought drugs on site, those are different than that setup.
Law enforcement.
That's an issue that we're experiencing that they have brought into the shelter that's now affecting the rest of everyone's safety.
Yeah, exposure.
Yes, but yes, in your case, it would be Salvation Army, St. Vincent de Paul, Family Promise is another big one that we partnered with.
Oh, okay.
To be able to help house people wherever they might be at, but that's a really good question.
Do you guys partner with like the youth resource center? and
Yep, Michelle
everything?
King, yeah,
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 you
she's
did.
great, yep. We have partnered with her for, there have been people who, because you have to be 18, so there are people who
Right.
come to us who are under 18, and again, I wish we could do it all, but Michelle is fantastic about getting in contact with her, she's pretty quick to come in.
Cause we only women and children, not just children kind of thing.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yes, unfortunately, not just children, moms, and then their kids as
Yeah.
well.
And that's the upstairs and then.
Yep. Yep, if you guys haven't toured it, I would highly encourage you. Please
Yeah,
let me
I haven't
know,
done it
I
yet.
would love to give you guys a tour, it's,
You can set up like a
Yeah.
gym for just a
Yep.
small
I
cup.
totally can. I think one of the things I would love to just stress to you guys is when people hear homeless shelter, in my experience, when I've had conversations with people who disagree with homeless shelters, there's a quick flash in their mind of what they expect.
Yeah.
We try to strive for the best that we possibly can. So when you literally, I guarantee you walk through our facilities, you'll be like, this is a homeless shelter? I say this about me, this is nicer than my house.
Yeah.
Because it really is. And so we try to strive for a really high sense of self-worth and dignity that we can I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen it, but there are individuals who don't have that idea of worth, and we want to give that to them. We believe that obviously their worth comes from God, but we also want them to know, hey, this is nice stuff because you are worth having a really nice bedroom. You're worth having the best service from our RA team. Amazing food. I'm not kidding you, our chef, they had prime rib last night. So they have amazing food at the shelter. So things like that, we just want to instill a sense of self-confidence. So, what else do you guys got? I don't want to take too much of your time up. So
Where do
We
you,
have nothing else on.
Yeah.
where do you obtain the things to sell in your thrift store? Is it all by donation?
donation, yeah.
Okay, so people can just drop off donations at the thrift store?
Yes.
Okay.
They can drop off donations to the shelter. I laugh because we've been getting a surplus of donations
yeah.
lately. It's been a huge blessing. We also realize that our systems are not great and yet in place for how to accept all these donations. And so we're processing through a lot of that, and most of it will go back in-house.
Okay.
There's a
I was
lot
gonna
of
say
stuff that, hey, I was just told the other day that we needed women's size small for everything.
Mhm.
So then we make that known to the community, people bring all that, and then we have a lot of women's size small stuff. But there are other people around town that we've actually tried to also partner with of giving back to the community, because our goal is, yes, we are invested in Spokane and the Spokane shelters and the thrift stores and everything they're doing. But if we have an overabundance, we've been getting a lot of food lately, so like Community Action has gotten some food. We partner with St. Vincent, we want to give back to the community, because we believe that's what will help us all grow, is not just us being here, but also the rest of the community.
Because you don't have a thrift store now.
No, we don't.
Right.
Oh,
So
okay.
it wouldn't be.
Yeah.
They
So the thrift store, it was
closed
right
that
there on the same block
before
where
they broke ground.
Sears was, that was
Yeah.
forever ago, but yes, right there. And then we broke ground, correct, and then the thrift stores are still in Spokane, and
Okay.
maybe we'll open one up here. We get an employee discount, so I hope we don't. here.
But you still take donations, you said at your facility down
facility,
here,
yes.
and you might just take it up to the thrift store up there or
Or
use it within
yeah,
if you need
yeah, we've
it.
been using a lot of tangible goods, so, if people have donated small, hygiene kits, deodorants.
Yeah, you guys have it in your
conditioner.
sign, don't you, to
Yep,
like things
yeah.
that you're in need of?
Yes, so things like that, those are things that we use pretty quick.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Some of the clothing, it just takes time, because when they come into our shelter, they get a brand new change of clothes that's for them. And we take everything, their current clothes, everything, and we put it inside what we call, it's a hot box, but it's it's a room that's about 140 degrees and it disinfects everything. And so that's how we keep bed bugs, lice, anything like that out of the shelter, and then we can keep the clothes. And then if they have an interview, we have nice women's and men's clothes to be able to give them for an interview, so they're not just wearing what they have.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, was like I was thinking more the residents, because you've got children and people will often, their children are older and you just like goodwill the clothes, but there's another opportunity for the children or toys or, yeah, like interview or just every day.
Yeah.
You have
And then
nothing,
change of weather.
yeah,
I mean, we go from summer
Yeah,
to
jackets,
winter,
yeah.
then we get an influx of jackets and people need jackets. And
yeah.
then summer comes around and people are complaining in jeans and t-shirt, which I would be too. Yeah, so we have.
Well,
summer
like you
clothes to
said,
be able to
nice,
give.
nice things that maybe they're not used to having.
Yep, and that's why when we go through our donations, we're picky.
Mhm.
Like, we want good stuff. If we're
Yeah.
not gonna wear it, we're not gonna give it to someone else, because we want them to have the best
Yeah.
of what we have.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Yeah. Are people able to utilize prescribed like Suboxone? I think.
That's a good question, yes. So we have what we call a controlled substance lockup area. So we do what we say, we don't administer any sort of medication. But we do keep those under lock and key, and they can come to the RA desk, which are our resident assistant desk. It's 24/7, it's always staffed.
Yeah.
So they can come there, they can get whatever, Suboxone's a pretty common one, they can get whatever they need, they administer it themselves. Yes, yeah.
I imagine that's for abuse reasons.
Yep.
Try to give it to
Yep,
someone else.
lock and key, cameras in the room, kind of the whole shebang for that specific reason,
And
yes.
then other people trying to get to it.
Makes sense.
And we see, we have about 67 residents in-house right now. Our RA team, I mean, they're familiar faces, like you see them often, that you know who's coming in for what, when they're coming in.
Yeah.
Our goal is to kind of build that relational aspect with them, so that if there are any issues, we have now built a relationship that we've had with them for some time. So.
Are they like required to attend church?
We have chapel 3 nights a week, and so the chapel is mandatory Monday and Friday. If what we tell them is, it is not required for you to believe. We're not forcing that upon them. We just ask that they be respectful and in the room. Oftentimes they'll sit in the back of the room and they'll listen to music, and we just ask that they be respectful and take it as an opportunity to learn about another religion, even if it's not one that they participate in. We've had many of that people aren't participating in Christianity, and that's fine. Like, that's okay. They can sit in the back and they can hang out. Chapel's half an hour, 45 minutes. But what we've seen is generally through the relational aspect that we have with them, more questions are asked, more conversations are had. We have a whole chaplain, chapel provider team that kind of.
Do you allow like LGBT community to attend?
Yeah, we allow anyone. Yes, that is a question that we get asked.
Yeah.
Yep, we want to love everyone. That's really our goal.
Yeah, the reason I asked is because I'm pretty sure when they were presenting to council, they had mentioned something of like not employing LGBT.
I don't know about that. That is,
About
yes, that is more,
Well, I was just curious,
I have
yeah.
no idea what the case is with that.
Yeah.
As far as, because I can speak more to what happened in the shelter, as far as the shelter specifically, like, yes, and we've encountered and experienced that a lot. And like, we just want to love people where they're at. That's really kind of our goal. So.
Oh,
Yeah,
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but not Sunday.
I know, not Sunday. Our goal is eventually to have a church.
That would say.
When I hear it, it doesn't always make sense, but our goal is to have a church that comes in and eventually hosts a service on
But
a Sunday.
they can leave.
Absolutely, yeah. So that's a good question, well distinguished, is their curfew is from 7 PM until 7 AM the next morning. So they're in shelter overnight, but throughout the day, they can do whatever they want. And we would encourage most of them to be out of the shelter, right? We want them finding a job, securing housing, going in, getting a driver's license, and that's all things that their case manager would help them with.
So they help them like get the certain documents that they need to
Yep,
obtain
yep.
those things?
So after 5 days, they meet with the case manager, and their case manager would meet with them once a week and keep them accountable to their goals.
Yeah.
That's also how we help identify how serious someone is in
Yeah.
their recovery process. And so we've had people come in and say, hey, I don't have a driver's license and I don't know where my birth certificate is. My mom
I don't
never
have
gave it to me. Yep. So those are all things we'll walk through and say, hey, here's who you go to. Here's, you need the paperwork, let's get the paperwork here. We have a full computer lab that they can access those kind of things on. So yes, Mark.
As presiding officer, I see Jolene has joined us and she has her hand
Oh,
raised.
yeah.
She has her hand raised. Jolene, you can hear us and you can see us?
Hello, I can see you guys and hear you. So I put it in the chat, the question that I had, because I didn't know if anybody was going to turn around and look that I was here. But so your medical screening when people come in for intake, I'm a little confused on. I refer people back and forth with you guys all the time. But so I was curious what the qualifications were for the person that's doing the screening, because a problem that I've had as of recently is that I have people contacting me saying that they were denied based on medical, which is that's a scary sentence for an organization to hear, because what comes along with that, right? And we want everybody to feel like that, that's not what's going to be their barrier. And of course, people will run with that. And so I was curious what the qualifications are of the screener that's screening the medical part of it.
Yeah.
And
Good
then
question.
if there's a contact person, I can maybe get the information for that. Maybe I can just have that direct line too, so that when they are coming to me saying that I can kind of coordinate it, because maybe that would help.
Yeah, that's a good question. Jolene, also my back is to you. I don't know which camera.
Oh, that's okay.
Tell me, when you say medical screening, what are some common
So
reasons?
I recently had somebody who came down there and screened to come and was told that they were too much of a medical risk to take in. But then later I spoke to Jeremy, they were re-screened and they were taken in just fine.
Yes.
But this was a matter of 3 or 4 days in between, and the person had managed congestive heart failure and was on a CPAP. And so it was 106 degrees outside and she was sleeping in her car. And so that was the concern, right? Because of her medical. Yeah.
Yep.
And so I'm trying to get rid of or do away with like that 3 days. We didn't need that 3 days.
Confusion,
We had the right
absolutely.
communication.
Yeah.
If I could clarify, Jolene works for Disability Action
Action Center.
Center. And
Yes.
I'm follow up with questions
Same.
about people with disabilities.
Yes, and Jolene, I think we might have met before somewhere. And that's
Yeah,
a
we
really
did.
great-
We've met before.
Yeah. Okay, that's a really great question. What we say is people have to be able to self-care. Though that's the exact verbiage, that people have to be able to self-care. So we've had people come in that is just out of our realm of what will qualify. I mean, we have CPR, we have first aid training, but nothing past that. So if people can self-care for themselves, they're welcome to stay in the shelter. I don't know all the specifics as far as what RA teams will allow. And I also know, I would add that our RA team is in constant training and we're humans. So we have absolutely made mistakes. And I totally get what you mean about her being out in the heat. Like that's crazy. And it sounds like Jeremy was pretty quick to rectify the situation. I think no, you're good.
He was great to work with, and he always is. Everybody down there has been really great as far as trying to help me figure out those little issues. It just lately, like the last 2 weeks, it seems like I've had like kind of an influx of that same thing being told. And unfortunately, like it affected me on a personal level last week, because I had told somebody to call 988 because they were having suicidal ideations. 988 came all the way from Coeur d'Alene because apparently they don't have anybody contracted here. They brought him to UGM to be screened. He was turned away, even though he had housing. It's a social piece for him because he's elderly and he doesn't have any connection to the community because all of his family's gone. And so he was turned away because he was too much of a medical risk. What I imagine happened is he said he was suicidal and you guys said no, which I get.
Sure.
And they took him back to his apartment, and then 988 texted me and asked me to go remove all the extension cords from his apartment that night because they went back to Coeur d'Alene. Life went on. They came, they saw, they did nothing to affect the situation in a positive way. And then I got this dumped in my lap at 8 p.m. and it was a nightmare.
Yes.
And so
Yeah,
it's
and
like,
I totally hear you. That seems super frustrating. I've also heard that can tend to be a common occurrence with 988. And I do know for a fact that the only place is Coeur d'Alene for them to come out of. So
what? Well, we have the crisis response team from Riverside though.
Yep. You're right.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah, yeah, and Jillian.
Yeah,
what
I
I'll
know,
do is
you
I'll-
know, it's just frustrating trying to figure
And I
out the right
totally,
pathway
like,
for all of it.
I hear your frustrations, and I'm right there with you. We're still always doing ongoing staff training with those things. And it is situations like that that I think really help us learn how to do things better the next time. So like I will definitely.
When are you down there at the facility?
Monday through Friday.
Okay.
Yep, yes.
I will be in your office.
I'll come stalk you and harass you and maybe we can chat and maybe talk about
I'll
some of these things.
definitely set you up a meeting with Jeremy. That would be great. He would love
That'd be
that.
awesome.
He would be the person that would do those kind of things. So yeah, those are all things that we like. I am sorry that that's happened to your clients because that stinks and that's super
Well, and it ends
difficult.
up getting worked out in the end. It's my mental health personally that is the frustrating issue with it because I'm like, how is 988 texting me that last?
Yes, yeah, I totally get it. That's a really good question. So yep, self-care. Those are the biggest things that we just try to distinguish.
Which I wanted to say thank you to for your donation, UGM's donation to the Salvation Army this last week. That was incredible and it was well received and it's helped a lot up there.
Good. That is good to hear. I love it. Like I said,
Yeah.
we want to get back to the community however way we can. So
Chase,
Yeah.
So I'm gonna coattail on that. I would have been, but anyway, on the subject of disabilities, because that's what our commission is. So how do you guys define disability? That's always the big issue. It's a big issue for DAC. Oh, she stepped away. And if people with defined disabilities present themselves to you guys, you've already touched on some of this.
Yeah.
To what extent can you help them and to what extent can you not help them and you have to turn them away?
yes.
And quickly, I want to ask, you have no age restriction, 18 to eternity?
Yeah. If
Okay.
they live that long. Yep.
Well, what is
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
average age? I mean, do you have,
That's a good
because I
question.
work for a senior citizen organization, do you have very many people over age 60, 65?
We have a handful. Yeah, I would say our demographic is usually between that. Oh man, there's a lot of it's hard. It's all over the board. It really is. Like I can
Okay.
specifically think of 5 to 10 individuals who are older, 60s plus. I can think of people who are younger, closer to my age, who are experiencing this. So I would say probably like 30, 40, 50. That
Okay.
is a pretty common age that we see. And yes, we have had some older seniors who have stayed with us
And statistically, I mean, in the general population, the older you are, the more likely to have a disability. But if you don't see a lot of those people, that may not be the case, and you may see more disabilities among a younger age demographic. So anyway, back to my question, how would you guys define a disability? Do you allow service animals?
if they are licensed service animals, paper service animals, excuse me, yes, yeah.
So service animals, not emotional support.
Non-emotional support. No,
Okay,
they are
yeah.
paper service animals, and we've had some of
Big
those.
distinction.
Yeah, and we've had a lot of those people come in before. No one that I know to date that has, because one of our requirements is that it has to be able to, it can't be aggressive towards staff or other people. And a lot of the early on interactions that we've had, we've seen a lot of aggressive service animals, which I didn't know that they had those, but there are. Or I don't know. I'm not gonna speculate anything. I'm not gonna speculate anything. But yes, if it is a papered service animal, then yeah, absolutely.
And so back to my initial
Yes.
question, how do you guys define, do you have a special handbook or section on people with disabilities and who can you not serve?
Yeah, I'm just gonna answer you honestly. I don't have any idea.
Okay, because you're not the intern.
Correct. I don't know what we define specifically as a disability or what is. The biggest thing for us is kind of like what I said, Julie, is the self-care portion of it.
Yeah,
So I know that's
that's a big
I
part.
know that's a huge broad spectrum of what that could mean.
Technically, anybody in recovery.
True.
You
I
mean more
mean,
physical?
not even necessarily that, but yeah, there's the whole recovery issue. There's also the whole perceived disability issue. This is an endless
Yes.
topic for this commission. On the issue of physical, yes, what you're talking about, self-care, being able to cover yourself makes a lot of sense. Blindness, deafness.
Yes, we have worked with deafness before. I'm just trying to think back to situations. We've had 3 or 4 individuals and, we have a couple, interpreters that we have contacted through social service, some form of social service that we've contacted through, that have come out and been able to help with that. The deaf people who have experience have also been able to communicate to a degree. We've had a lot of that we've been able to pin and, it's not a pen and paper. I don't think we've encountered blindness at all, and to be honest, I have no idea what that would look like. Those are the things that we often refer to the shelter. Hey, what are they doing in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, and
Yeah.
what has worked and what has been done?
Well, right next door, we have Idaho Commission for the Blind.
Oh, yes,
That would be your point of contact there.
yeah, that's a good idea.
So among an older population demographic, what about anyone displaying signs of dementia?
Yeah, we've had, that's a really good question. And that's a really hard one too. Like, my grandpa's personally experiencing that right now. And it's the same thing, and how we think of it is that it kind of goes into that self-care portion of it. So if they're becoming a harm to themselves or to others because of forgetting or not forgetting, doing, not doing, aggressive tendencies, whatever it might be, those are the things where we realize it might be out of our control. And we will try to then help them. We just want to help refer, so we want to help to our partners. So we would go to whoever might help them with that specifically, if they could get someone, and we also want them to get the best care that they need. And I don't know if our staff is really equipped to be able to handle those specific things. We've experienced early onset dementia with some people before, that have actually been in our shelter for a decent amount of time, and those are all things. We have a note tracking system that we keep track of every, conversation, anything that seems off, anything that needs to be followed up on. And so we would usually follow through with some of those, and they need to be in a safer location for them, then we would help them find a safe location for them.
Well, having Chaz come in, what'd you say, twice a week? Twice a week, it would be a big help, or having a health professional. What about, oh God, I've forgotten all of it. Oh. You make,
Oh, it's nice to meet you.
oh, okay. You make any effort to contact family members of these people?
Yes, yep. Yes, and the hard part is oftentimes family members don't want to be contacted.
Oh, that's
That's what
probably
we've
the
experienced a
majority of the
lot.
time, yeah.
We, yes, if they list, cause that's all information we have to get from them. They will tell us, they will always put down an emergency contact. And then if there's any other family members or contact, and most of the conversations end in a, and they hang up and they don't want anything to do with them. It's very sad, honestly. But yes, if there is a need be, we contact, family members. Some of them are trying to avoid family members. So there's also that end of the spectrum that we have that conversation with them, and oftentimes they don't want family to know they're at our shelter. We abide by HIPAA, all regulations, so there is a standpoint where.
It's up to them basically, what
Oh,
you guys reach out or not.
Yep, and we have a phone. If they want to access, we have a phone that they can access at any point in time. If they want to make a call to family, they're more than welcome to. More often than not, they don't, but they're welcome to at any point in time.
Do they have access to like a computer, so if they wanted to apply for
We have a
jobs?
full-on computer lab. Idaho Department of Labor comes in every Friday, helps them with whatever they might need.
And does Chaz provide like not only health, but like dental and vision?
That's a
Where
good
do they-
question. I don't think, they bring their mobile unit out.
Yeah,
And so they're on site, and from my understanding, I haven't had it done to me personally, but from my understanding is they schedule an appointment with them where they have a walk-in, and then in the clinic, they usually always have a nurse on staff.
Yeah.
In that van, they have access to more minor things.
yeah,
And then if it is more major, they will help get them connected. So if it's dental, I'm pretty sure, we have the dental
Yeah.
just down that they can get connected with. And
yeah, cause I was just
Sometimes it
thinking
is.
like, they probably don't have money to buy glasses,
Nope.
or have dental work, you could have infections and some of that is affect your health and,
Yep, and we also have an eye care clinic at the Spokane shelter. So those are all things that if we identify, we want to bend over backwards and help.
set them
Really
up for
wherever we
success.
can. Yeah, so if it's a pair of eyeglasses that's stopping them, like, we had a gentleman who came in 50s and he couldn't read. He never learned, didn't know how. And those are things that I, as the volunteer coordinator, I'm like going through, who do we know and who do we know that can help him out? This is such a basic thing, and it was a very big deal for him, obviously, that we
Yeah.
want to be able to help.
Probably really held it back and
Totally.
ability to get jobs. ability to
Absolutely.
communicate, Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of forget that there are people that are illiterate that never had access to a school.
So the main trigger to access this is homelessness. Does that sound correct?
What do you mean?
Um,
Sorry.
the reason I'm asking
Yeah,
is
yeah.
because you're saying that they need to be able to take care of their self-care. Context for me, I work for an agency here that provides, caregivers to provide those activities of daily living on a regular basis. But the barrier for them to access that, they have to have home in order to qualify for the state services. So,
Yeah.
and I love, we're plugging a bunch of gaps that are obviously here in our community. There's still a narrow gap there
For sure.
between those who have a place or don't have a place,
but
but have
need the service.
they need the services for the activities of daily living.
Yeah.
And I was kind of curious, in order to qualify for your services, they have to have some level of defined homelessness. Is that?
Yeah, they have a form. Can't remember the name of the form, but yes, they have a form that they fill out.
Do you know what that kind of, that definition is? Is it similar to like the school districts?
But do you know? I don't know what the school is.
Essentially,
You
like
don't have an
when
address, right?
yeah, and like when I was in the education world, I believe there were cases where you could say mom and dad lose a house, the kid now is living in a bedroom in grandma's house. And because they were displaced out of their initial home and
I
their
see.
shared home.
I see what.
Because that might be a way that,
Yeah.
well, with the activities of daily living are still a barrier there. And that's the concern that I have. I work largely with the elderly disabled populations. And every now and then I run into somebody who is, losing their access to a home.
For sure.
But they still have these cares that we can't provide if they don't have that. So.
Yeah. And it also makes me wonder, and this is just me creatively thinking, like it also makes me wonder if some of those cares could be considered more self-care with certain help, kind of to your point. So if that's something that, we have many volunteers who have been in the medical field, doctors, occupational therapists, the whole gambit. So it makes me wonder if there's more of an option of what that looks like to stay. Maybe they won't get the state funded services that they needed, but that they could still get some sort of service with staying. But I would love to stay in contact because that's a really great question. And I wish we could do it all and help.
Right. Well, I mean, you
fill that.
can only plug whatever gaps you can plug.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's a good question.
every one of them that you can is wonderful for the community, I believe.
I mean, how do you verify that they're even homeless? I mean, I have, not to say that people are lying and coming to your facility that are homeless is probably what they're there,
It
but.
could be for the food. Maybe they just.
Yeah, George, yeah, that's what I was thinking about it.
Yeah, we haven't signed a form that they are basically saying, yes, I'm homeless. Here are the things
Being
that.
truthful.
Yeah, here are the things. I know there's a name of the form. I don't see it that often, but I can't remember what the name of it is, that they would sign. I mean, there's no way we can 100% verify.
A release of information?
We have some people sign that as well, but it's a different, like Idaho housing authorization. Yes, we do go through that, but it is a different, form that they sign as well. I mean, at the end of the day, we can't completely verify that they don't have a home. I mean, we can just judge by patterns. I mean, they're in for curfew, they're in the morning. Yeah.
Some of them, I'm gonna guess, actually own a car.
Mhm.
It may, because I see them locked
Yep.
behind the locked fence. Maybe they were living in their car, but for those who don't, do you provide transportation? How do they get to
Yeah, that's a good question.
appointments?
Limited number of bus tokens is what we have, that we partnered with the city to get at a discounted rate, which has been a huge blessing. Walking is a huge mode, obviously. The Assoka County Sheriff's Department has actually donated a handful of bikes to us. The real hot new thing is electric scooters, though.
Yeah.
That's the big craze, electric scooters, electric bikes that people are going through. So I would say the main transportation is walking if they don't have a car, and then a bicycle or a scooter. And we do help out with bus tokens, bus passes, those are things. Salvation Army also helps out with bus passes, and same with St. Vincent de Paul, that if they need, they can have
I was
access.
gonna chime in there too. I actually can help with bus passes now too.
That is
And
great to know.
transportation and inpatient treatment.
That's awesome.
Mm.
That is fantastic.
If somebody shows up on day one for that breathalyzer/your analysis, they pop dirty for something, how long do you make them wait before they can?
I mean, as soon as they're, for alcohol, for example, as soon as they come back and test positive, or, well, then they absolutely can come back right then and there. So for alcohol,
So in some cases, it might just be a matter of just keeping somebody tuned up long enough that they can.
oftentimes what we've seen is someone comes in and They test for alcohol. We have go bags, and these are people that might be just passing through. Hey, here's a lunch. It has water, it has everything. The park, go where, hey, you can't be
Come back
here.
Friday.
You can't be here, yeah, or you can come back in 2 to 3 hours sometimes is what it is. Come back 2 to 3
It's
hours.
unfortunate for like marijuana though.
Yes.
That
Stays in your system
Stays in
for
your
such a
system
long
forever.
time.
Yep, and we have different stipulations when it comes to marijuana because of how long it stays in your system. It will be that initial, don't quote me on this, but it will be that initial test and then it tests positive for THC marijuana. And then if they say, hey, my last time I used was whatever, it'll be 30 days from that date, and then we will retest them at that date. And if it's still in their system, then, we can figure out pretty quick that they
It's
used
still
it in that
continuing.
time. Yeah, 'cause again, we don't want that to be a barrier. They might not be currently under the influence. Most major narcotics are out of the system at a decent rate, not always like quick, but at a decent rate. Marijuana is the one that, and I mean, Washington's right across the street, so that's something that we want to accommodate. If someone wants to seek services, but it's been a while since they've used, we'll just retest.
Yeah, that's hard. I mean, Washington, it's like legal, so.
Yeah.
I mean, alcohol's obviously
Yeah.
legal too, but an alcohol situation, you can know when someone's actively on it.
Yes,
And so that's always the bummer about marijuana.
Yes.
They could have done it one time,
totally,
a couple weeks ago or
Yeah.
whatever, and
Yeah.
then officers are out, they went bad.
totally. Yeah, and those are
30 days.
what we have pretty hard and fast rules for some things, like those, but we also want to lead with complete grace, like to your exact example, like if someone lost a job, if someone lost their house, like whatever, we want to be able to help them as best as we can. That it's never like, sorry, can't help you, find somewhere else. It's,
Right.
hey, here's where you will go, here's who you will talk to, here's who you can see.
And then when you can come back,
Yep,
try
yep,
again.
yeah,
So perhaps a closing question.
Yes.
would be, from the point of view of headquarters up in Spokane.
Mhm.
Is the Lewiston facility meeting the targets of your feasibility study, and are they happy with us, or are we falling short of it somewhere?
Tell me more about the things you just said, because to be honest, I'm not the feasibility study.
Well, have there been more people or
Oh, I
fewer
see.
people than
Yeah.
they predicted?
Yeah,
Are they-
And are the amounts of donations and community support lived up to what they expected?
I got what you mean. I think we're right par with where we're supposed to be.
Okay.
Our goal was at the first year of operation, we wanted to be at 80% capacity. We hit that within the first 2 months of operation.
Okay.
So as far as people being in our shelter, that is a goal that we have met. Donations, food, that are all things that I think are
This appears to be.
I mean, if it's a
sustaining.
huge investment,
Yeah.
multi-million-dollar investment, I assume there's all kind of feasibility studies and outreach, and it would be sad if it turned out that the area wasn't living up to what was expected.
And as you can imagine, with the way Eugene has done things in the Spokane Corporate area, it's all with intentionality. So I don't think our CEO, Phil Altmeyer, was actually just here in town, but I don't think he would have agreed to a shelter down here if he didn't think that there was a prolonged lifespan of it. When I started my job, they didn't hand me any feasibility studies. That's unfortunately really missed out on that. They handed me a fat sack of volunteers to go through, but no feasibility studies. But yes, as far as the functioning and operation of the shelter, it appears to be going right where we expected, if not better than where we were at. So
What do you use the volunteers for?
anything and everything. I will be so creative. Administration, maintenance, kitchen. We have volunteers who come in and lead an art therapy booth, Bible studies, chapel services, the resident assistant team, case management.
Do you take volunteers that need to volunteer as a court order?
Yes, they have, the process for volunteers is a bit extensive. It is our presentation.
They call sometimes like, oh, hey,
I need
or
hours
it's
for
like,
probation.
or it's like,
Yeah.
my son needs to do
They
volunteer
can't,
hours.
they can't be on probation.
Okay.
I know, and it's just because of the population that we deal with directly, that they aren't able to be on
That's
probation.
kind of what I was curious.
Yes.
So they cannot be in specialty court then either?
Again, I don't know what specialty court is.
So they're
Maybe
on
the outreach
probation,
office.
but it's a diversion program that erases the charge if they complete it.
Oh, I see. That's a great question.
Drug court.
Yeah, drug court.
Because
I don't know
that's a huge resource you guys could tap into. They all are assigned community service hours as a requirement of specialty court.
Yes, and that would be a good question because we work with an at-risk population. It would be interesting to me if we let people who are also dealing with the same form of addiction around an environment, people who are still in their current active recovery. We want
Mhm.
people to be at least 3 years clean and sober from
Oh, I
their,
see.
for their active recovery and have a sense of community around them that's supporting them, whether that's AA, NA, a group that they meet with that kind of helps them in that active recovery. Yes.
That makes sense.
I know we're running short of time.
Yeah.
I just thought of one more question.
Please,
Do
yes.
you, first of all, do you have hours for intake or can people show up at 10 o'clock?
7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Oh,
unless,
your open hours.
Yep. unless they are a mom who is fleeing from a domestic
Yeah.
violence situation, then we are.
But do you allow law enforcement, police, who pick somebody up sleeping on a park bench in a park and bring them and drop them off at your facility?
We would prefer if they didn't do that. We've developed a really great relationship with the police department that they'll actually call in and notify us. And
And you
again,
wouldn't do it after 7 p.m.
not after 7 p.m. If they're clean and sober, those are the big words. So if they pick up someone clean and sober, they haven't been making any, which I don't know why the cops would pick up someone clean and sober in the first place, but if they do, and it's within our hours, then we could start the process with them. And we've also just developed a really nice relationship with the police department that it's been able to be reciprocal in what we're experiencing, what we're going through that process. So, yeah.
Well, thank you very much,
Yeah.
Chase.
You
I'm
got it.
sure all of us, city staff, city council member, commission members have learned a lot here.
Yeah.
I'd love to come tour it.
Yes, please do. I'll give you guys business cards, but you guys can come as a group. You can come by yourself. Like I would love to just help, honestly, just help dispel some of the myths that I feel like surround the homeless community, and not for you guys,
Yeah.
but the homeless community, the homeless shelter. We've gotten, obviously, as you guys can imagine, just pushback from the community, right? Rightfully so. I completely understand that, having grown up here. That is their prerogative. They can have their opinions, but to be able to educate more people about what we actually look like, I think is kind of the key of what we're trying to do.
Yeah, I think some people think that if you build it,
They will come. Yeah, but there's
and
like
so
busting
where we
thing.
had homelessness,
Yeah.
now we'll have more.
My pushback to that is that they were already here.
Yeah.
Like I literally said, having grown up here, there was one gentleman that was homeless and they were already here. And so it's not that we built it, it's just that now we have a service for them to actually get rehabilitated.
Yeah.
That's the goal. It's not just to perpetuate the problem, but to help them with where they're at.
Well, I think there's the idea that homeless people are always visible on the street.
Yeah, totally. Yep.
And they're not,
They're couch.
I think
surfing.
there's less, especially in Clarkston. Yes, I think there's fewer.
Yeah.
yeah, because
Since
you're right,
they-
people
since they
couch
don't-
surf, they sleep in cars, they,
Might not have any idea.
yeah.
Yeah, might not visit people on the street.
Yes.
Okay, well, once again, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Building, but there really isn't much time.
No, that's good. Good. Good.
We're just gonna.
My brain's fried,
look through
so.
The rest of this agenda, with Nikki's help here. Future agenda items from anybody? Or did we have anything sort of
I
on
don't
the
think we
list?
had anything, other than UGN.
Could you do a tour?
Yeah, maybe it's
As a-
for.
as like a,
Okay.
In place of a meeting?
Yeah.
I think
I
that
mean, I'm
would
not
work.
like voting on.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Is there a time, like this time frame?
Do you know it was at
Thursday.
UGN?
Yeah, once a month on
Then you
Thursday.
don't know
When the
who's have.
school, when the school board tours schools for facility maintenance, yeah, they have to notice that if a reporter wants to tag along, they're allowed to.
Yeah, I think we just have to notice the.
So
link.
next month it's the 11th. It falls on the meeting.
Of September?
Yeah.
At this,
September
hold
11th.
on.
No. Be possible.
I feel like
I mean, I could
This
talk
was
to the
the
city
first.
attorney. and just-
And if we.
So you have verify?
If we have nothing.
Yeah.
Commissioner comments? Well, obviously, if anyone does have a topic they'd like the commission to address in the future, pass it along to either Constance and or to Nikki. Commissioner comments, we take note of the fact that there's 2 vacancies. Any applications?
No,
No.
so if you know people, I mean, we have it posted, every once in a while, we advertise it, because we've got more than just 2 on this. We've got multiple commissions and boards and stuff that need volunteers.
And everybody currently, the 5, we all work for agencies, either nonprofit or for-profit government. It'd be nice to have a normal
Outsider
person.
kind of just
A
went.
normal from the business community who has or a person with an actual disability.
That's what I was thinking,
Which we always had up until Eric exited. So.
I actually have a few people in mind that I wasn't aware of the 2 vacancies until I looked at the agenda, but that's just my brain, not you guys not telling me. And so I have a few people, consumers here in mind that are people with disabilities, that I think could possibly be good candidates. And so I was going to tell them about that Monday when I see them.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, they'd have a firsthand,
Jolene,
ability to communicate their.
any other commissioner comments? No, okay, staff comments,
No.
really? Usually have something. Okay,
Nikki, I sent you an email. I just need you to send it out to everybody.
Okay, will do.
It's the details of my grant.
Oh, okay, yeah, I can do that.
Mhm.
oh, you want a grant? Yay.
Thank you. I got that healthcare foundation grant that I told you about, Mark. The little one for needs and gaps.
Okay, yay.
You'll see.
I don't remember it yet.
It'll come back to my, we can read it.
Yes, okay, if there's no other commissioner or staff concern, then we stand adjourned. See you all next
Okay,
month.
okay. Thanks, Mark.
Wait. Hey, call me back, Jolene, I've been trying to reach you.
Okay, so I have time after 2 o'clock today. Just call me.
Just her brain, guys.
Okay.
Just her brain.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, hold on.
Guys have a good day.
There's that for you.
Yeah.